the screen. This is our 22nd lecture. So this is a interest rate differential. This is 22nd lecture. We will discuss interest rate differential. In last lectures, if you remember, I'm going back, little back, not too much back. We have done this. So this is a summary of policy effects in the monetary planning model. Like here in the light orange color floating exchange rate, the low or light orange color column floating exchange rates, and in the light green color column fixed exchange rates. And policies impact of expansionary fiscal policy on income, exchange rates, and net exports. Then impact of expansionary monetary policy on income, exchange rate, and net export in the monetary planning model. Next thing is the impact of import restriction policy on income, exchange rate, and net export. This thing we have done already. इसको रिवाइज करने की हमें कदम जरूरत नहीं है. Reason is very clear. Because we have done already. We have done these policies: fiscal policy, fiscal monetary, fiscal policy, monetary policy in recession. So in recession, we follow expansionary fiscal policy and monetary policy. Okay. So in case of recession, fiscal policy, expansionary fiscal policy, expansionary monetary policy, and in case of trade deficits, protectionist trade policy is the most suitable option to remove recession in the economy. We have done all these things. In all cases, we have discussed that any change in economic conditions brings about a change in local real interest rates. कोई भी पॉलिसी आप इम्प्लीमेंट आप कर लें, लास्ट जो हम कर भी चुके हैं, उसका पहला इम्पैक्ट क्या होता है? लोकल रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट. लोकल रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट या तो बढ़ता है या कम हो जाता है इन केस ऑफ फिस्कल, मॉनेटरी एंड इंपोर्ट पॉलिसी. उसका नेक्स्ट इम्पैक्ट क्या होता है? जब लोकल इंटरेस्ट रेट ग्लोबल इंटरेस्ट रेट से ज्यादा हो जाता है, उसके बाद फर्दर एक्सचेंज रेट में चेंज आता है. ये हम कर चुके हैं ऑलरेडी. अब हमने मंडल फ्लेमिंग मॉडल में अज्यूम किया था कि लोकल इंटरेस्ट रेट इक्वल टू ग्लोबल रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट. नाउ व्हेन इन द शॉर्ट रन local real interest rate is greater than global real interest rate, then we add something into global real interest rate. That is the theta, that is the theta, that is the interest rate differential. जब लोकल रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट ग्लोबल रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट से ज्यादा होगा, then the best policy is as interest differential to equate real interest rate to global real interest rates. Now let's come. Then local real interest rate is different from global real interest rate. There are two reasons for this difference. There are two reasons. Local real interest rate is different from global real interest rate. First one is the country risk in the red color. The second risk is the expected exchange rate changes. What is the country risk? When local real interest rate is greater than the global real interest rate, then definitely borrowers will be in difficulties for repayments. जब बेटा रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट इकोनॉमी में बढ़ जाएगा, then borrowers की इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स बढ़ जाएंगी, then borrowers की इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स बढ़ जाएंगी. That is the country risk faced by the borrowers. Lenders फिर ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट रेट रिक्वायर करते हैं हायर लोकल इंटरेस्ट रेट की वजह से. हम मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी इंप्लीमेंट करें या फिस्कल पॉलिसी इंप्लीमेंट करें, उसका इम्पैक्ट रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट पे होता है. Automatically, higher real interest rate in the local economy create difficulties for borrowers. बेटा अगर रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट आज बढ़ जाए, जितने भी बैंक से लोन्स लेने वाले लोग हैं उनकी इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट बढ़ जाएगी. The second one is जैसे ही बेटा second one is expected exchange rate changes. अगर रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट में चेंज की वजह से एक्सचेंज रेट फॉल कर जाए, फॉर एग्जांपल रेट फॉल कर जाता है, एग्जांपल क्या हो सकती है कि अगर टाइट फिस्कल पॉलिसी की वजह से रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट इकोनॉमी में लो हो जाए. रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट जब इकोनॉमी में जब लोकल इकोनॉमी में लो होगा एज कंपेयर टू ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी, देन domestic local persons will prefer to invest in foreign countries for interest higher interest rates. They demand more foreign dollars. As a result, local currency will be depreciated. जब लोकल करेंसी डेप्रिशिएट होगी उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा? Then borrowers will pay higher interest payments to compensate lenders for expected currency depreciation. अब बेटा जैसे जैसे पाकिस्तान की करेंसी लो होती जा रही है, वैसे वैसे पाकिस्तान के लोन्स बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. ऐसे नहीं कि पाकिस्तान डॉलर के मुकाबले में पाकिस्तानी रुपया वीक होता जा रहा है, वैसे वैसे जो इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट है वो बढ़ती जा रही है. क्यों? पहले अगर पाकिस्तान ने $100 लोन देना था तो किसके इक्वल था? फॉर एग्जाम्पल 1000 रुपीज. जब $1 इक्वल था 100 रुपीज, अब $1 इक्वल है 167 रुपीज. अब पाकिस्तान कितना लोन पे करेगा? अब पाकिस्तान 10,000 पे नहीं करेगा, बल्कि 16,700 पे करेगा. क्यों? पाकिस्तान के एक्सचेंज रेट लो होता है. ओके, तो first reason for the difference of local real interest rate from global real interest rate is the country risk. As local real interest rate is greater than the global real interest rate, then the borrowers in local economy will pay higher interest payments for political or economic violent conditions. Turmoil means economic bad conditions. Contrary means in case of higher real interest rate in the local economy, the borrowers will pay higher interest payments due to political or economic policies, due to up downs and due to up downs in political and economic situations. Now, commercial banks will require a higher interest payments to compensate them for this. अब lenders क्या करेंगे? Higher interest payment charge करेंगे to compensate them for this risk. Higher real interest rate per compensation के लिए. Getting the point? Second one is the expected exchange rate changes. If a country's exchange rate is expected to fall due to lower real local interest rates, then borrowers will pay higher interest payments to compensate lenders for the expected currency depreciation. अगर exchange rate lower होगा, then borrowed countries will pay higher interest payments to compensate the lenders. अमेरिका को या IMF को compensate करने के लिए वो higher interest payment करेंगे for the expected currency depreciation. These are the two reasons for which local real interest rate is different from the global real interest rate. अब हमारी assumption क्या थी बंडल फ्लेमिंग मॉडल में? Real interest rate equal to global real interest rate. Now we have to equate local real interest rate to global real interest rate with interest rate differential. How to make it equate by differential, that is by theta. जितना बेटा local real interest rate फॉर एग्जाम्पल हायर है, देन हम क्या करेंगे, ग्लोबल इंटरेस्ट रेट में कुछ ऐड कर लेंगे ताकि ग्लोबल रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट लोकल रियल इंटरेस्ट रेट की हो जाए. एज यू कैन सी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, due to expansionary monetary or fiscal policy, we find higher local real interest rate. Local interest rate is greater than the global real interest rate. R static is the global real interest rate. Then how we can equate? We can equate by adding theta, into global real interest rate. As we add theta, that is a risk premium. We add theta into global real interest rate, we create local real interest rate and global real interest rate. That is a differential in the Mundell-Fleming model. So global interest rate and local interest rate are always equal in the Mundell-Fleming model. But when in the short run, due to some policies, real interest rate in the local markets is greater than the global real interest rate, we add some differential, that is the risk premium, that is the theta. Now substitute real interest rate with this one, because then theta was not there, because real interest rate was equal to the global interest rate. But due to difference in local interest rate and global real interest rate, we add theta. As we add theta, then again local real interest rate is equal to the global real interest rate. Now we substitute this expression for local real interest rates. ये हम इसको ऐड कर रहे हैं. हमारी आईएस इक्वेशन क्या थी? Y equal to C plus I plus G plus negative 4. In our model, investment is a function of real interest rate. Here it was local real interest rate. Due to interest rate differential, we add global real interest rate plus theta, that is equal to this one. We can add anything. We can this one and for this one. But we substitute R for this one. We substitute global real interest rate plus theta for R, for local interest rate, to show the difference between real interest rate in local market and global real interest rate. Substitute the dividend. Local real interest rate for global real interest rate plus theta. Now, real interest rate is equal to global real interest rate plus theta. This is the IS equation. IS curve हम इस equation से drive करते हैं. Here aggregate supply equal to aggregate demand. Aggregate demand equal to C plus I plus G plus net export in the small open economy. Now, LM curve, in the LM curve, money supply equal to money demands. Money supply is equal to money demands. So here we also replace local real interest rate with the differential global real interest rates. Now, let's see impact of theta, because we add theta. Let's see the impact of interest differential, that is theta, on Mundell-Fleming model. Let's see the impact of an increase in theta. Let's see an increase in theta in Mundell-Fleming model. Let's see the effects of an increase in theta in Mundell-Fleming model. First, the effect of higher theta on IS curve. As theta increase, then global interest rate plus theta. Theta is a part of interest differential. Global interest rate, that is the interest differential, interest rate differential. When interest rate differential increase, then automatically local real interest rate. As local real interest rate increases, definitely local investment decreases. As local investment decreases, IS curve shift left with red color IS2. The same diagram which one we have discussed already in last lecture. Exchange rate is on the vertical axis, income on the horizontal axis. The first equilibrium is the place where first IS curve and first LM curve with blue color intersect at this point. where first equilibrium is the E1 and equilibrium income level is Y1. That is the initial equilibrium. As theta rises, the first impact on IS curve is shown by shifting IS curve left with red color. Now we are on IS curve 2. Now, the second effect of higher theta in LM curve. As LM curve increases, real interest rate increases. जब real interest rate ज़्यादा होगा, then lenders हम लोग prefer करेंगे कि बैंक में पैसा रखवा दें और higher interest payments in future. So money demand decreases. As money demand decreases, as money demand decreases, then LM curve shifts right. LM curve shifts right. With red color, LM curve 2. Now, IS curve shift left, LM curve shift right with red color, and we are on the new equilibrium phase where exchange rate has been decreased. Much decline in exchange rates and an increase in income levels. So, why must increase with an increase in theta? Okay. So change in exchange rate is negative, exchange rate decreases, and income level increases as it is shown here. Now, these outcomes we find the impact of interest rate differential in the model framing model. You must understand interest rate differential. Interest rates differentials. Getting the point? Now, I'm going to close our lecture. If you have any question, you can ask now. Okay? Now I'm going to